You are going to answer the two questions, what are factors and what are multiples? And you're going to create a T-chart in order to do so. Go ahead and start writing. I want you to try to come up with at least 2, if not 3 different things for each side. So 2 to 3 for factors and 2 to 3 for multiples. Head down, cover your face up. Okay. You have one of 3 choices. If you are sure you know what factors and multiples are, then you put your thumbs up. If you think you know but aren't 100% sure, better yet, raise your head. Everybody raise your hand so I can show you. If you know for sure, heads up. If you kind of think maybe you know but not 100% sure, put your thumb kind of sideways. And if you definitely cannot remember, thumbs down. Okay? So yes, I know. No, I don't know. I think I might know. Got that? Heads down. It's kind of hard to explain that middle one. Okay? So thumbs up. Either thumbs up, thumbs down, or thumbs sideways. Yes, I know for thumbs up. Some thumbs sideways. Maybe, maybe not. And thumbs down for I don't have a clue. All right. I'm going to give you a copy of an article, and I'm going to pass out a highlighter to you. And we will read the article together, and then you can highlight what information you want to highlight. Before we highlight, what are some things we do with an article? If we're going to highlight stuff, do we highlight everything? No. What? Keywords. So if we're looking for what are factors and what are multiples, are we going to just highlight that entire article? So what are factors and what are multiples? Go through there and find anything that you can find about factors and multiples. You can. And then add them to your T-chart. Anything you find about factors and multiples, and then add it to your T-chart. You're going to walk around and you're going to talk to other classmates, and in order for you to receive a comment from them or something to add to your T-chart, you have to give one. So you're going to share what you've written down for factors, one thing you've written down for factors or multiples, and then you're going to get one thing that they've written down for factors and multiples. On the bottom of your paper, I want you to write the most important point that you take from today to help you remember the difference between factors and multiples. What's the most important thing that you, yourself, need to remember in order to keep the confusion between factors and multiples out of your mind? Now we're going to take 5. Frazer, what's your most important thing to take from today?
Multiples never end, but factors do.
Okay. Today, for your power-up, you have a concept cartoon. And the concept cartoon says factors. And next little guy says, for the factors of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24. And then the next little guy says multiples. And he says 6 is 1, 2, 3, and 6. And he says, yeah, we know it. Or do we? Do you agree or disagree? Why or why not? Mr. Davis?
I agree.
You agree with him? Okay, how many agree with him? Okay. Who disagrees? Okay, Eric, why do you disagree?
Because the factors are 1, 2, 3, and 6, and the multiples are 6, 12, 18, 24.
They're different. They're reversed here. Okay, I want you to get out the article you had from yesterday. You're going to do some more highlighting. And I don't want you to have the same color so that you can distinguish from what you highlighted yesterday to what you're going to highlight today. So today what you're going to do is you're going to read through it, and you are going to look for anything about greatest common factor or least common multiple. Okay, so what are the components of a Frayer model? We need our, who remembers the first box? Our definition, characteristics, examples, and non-examples. So you're going to divide it up into the 4 sections for our Frayer model. You have your article, you have the Frayer model, and now I am going to put you into groups, and you are going to discuss what definition you want to put down, what characteristics you want to put down, and what examples and non-examples you want to put down.
The greatest common factor is the number that's the greatest.
That's multiplied.
The greatest multiplied factor. Yeah.
The greatest multiple.
Yeah, the greatest multiple.
Let's come back to that one and work on characteristics.
A characteristic of it would be.
Okay.
Let's see.
I really don't know what it would be, but
Let's just do examples real quick.
okay. Examples. Ooh, let's just try like 6 and the multiples of it.
Yeah, okay. What would be the multiples of 6?
6 times 6. No, wait.
No, it would. Okay, so the.
12.
I do know we're doing the factors, right?
32. Alright, so then it would be 12, and then for this one, do you just label it like, oh, okay, I remember how to do this, okay. So you do like 1 and 12, and then 2 and 6, and then 3.
Hold on.
And 4.
Yeah, it'd be 1,
then you
2,
have to
3,
stop.
4, 6, and 12.
Because you had 1 times 12,
Yeah.
2 times 6, and 3 times 4, and then you
And
have to
then a
stop.
non-example. 12, 4, 8.
You could just do this, like this, 12.
I just kind of made up numbers for this one.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8, 9,
9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Okay,
Done.
and now the other one.
Today, you should have already wrote your connections of what connections you are making between least common multiple and greatest common factor. If you haven't made any connections, that's fine. Leave it blank. But by now, you should be able to make 1 or 2 connections. You have 3 items at your disposal that you can use. You have your T-chart that we created on Monday. You have all of the T-charts from not only your class, but my 2nd period and my 3rd period. So there's numerous T-charts. You have the article that we read on Monday and then reread on Tuesday. And then you have the Frayer models that we created yesterday. So you have all 3 of those that you can have at to look at to find the answers to these questions. Now, today I'm going to put you in groups and we're going to do a concept map. Now, remember the first concept map we did, it was on hamburgers. Remember that? And we had to draw the lines and then write the statement. Okay? So, today, when you make your concept map, remember if you keep it all up towards the top, then you have room at the bottom to write some statements. I don't want you to flip over on the back of this one. I want you to get another sheet of paper, and I have extra paper if you need it, if you need to continue writing statements down. We are going to try to connect greatest common factor is one of our words. Common is another one. Yes, this is the words we're using for our concept map on a sheet of paper. Factor, I hear some chatting. And then we have multiple. Yes. Okay, so someone tell me a connection we can make between these 5 words. Okay, Bryson.
LCM goes to common and common goes to multiple.
Okay, and now, so I'm going to draw LCM to common and then common to multiple, and I'm going to label that 1. Now, what's my statement that goes with that? The least common multiple is what? Is the common of, how many numbers do you have to have? 2 or more. So the least common multiple is the common multiple of 2 or more numbers. And I underline LCM, common, and multiple.
These ones.
What can those be
Like,
before we mark it?
because you have to find the common factor to find the least common.
But it wouldn't be the least common multiple. It wouldn't be the least common multiple.
Listen to me, please. You have to find the common factor to find the GCF. And that don't happen.
I said first one.
So, well, okay. You're right, Miss Junkins.
Sure.
Miss Junkins.
But Miss Junkins can't help us on all of these. Well,
I know. Okay, so we just have a. So we were talking about factors and common, and CA said that you have to have those two find the greatest. So we thought that was why we just wanted to make sure.
If you think that's a connection, then you would connect those 3 and number it.
Okay.
And write your statement.
I think that's the connection.
common factors.
Go back to the question you answered this morning. What connections are you making between greatest common factor and least common multiple? And you should have had an answer for that. There's my answer. I want you to write an L, that's a cursive L, and then draw a line underneath it. No, you don't have to write the question. You should have your answer. Yes. This is called a line of learning. So after we've talked about the connections between these two, what connections do you see now? Okay, today we are going to take everything that we have learned thus far and put it together. So we talked about factors, we talked about multiples, we talked about greatest common factor, we talked about least common multiple, and then yesterday we talked about the connections between all of that together. And you are going to create an advertisement, a brochure, a dance, a rap, a cheer, a poem, a play, anything that I may have missed out on. You can choose one of those to create about telling us about the LCM and the GCF.
Figuring out the LCM, Y mean that and M. So you take two numbers and you multiply them up. The least number that's the same number of the two is the one that fits the purpose for you. This is just an example. I'm giving you a sample. I'm gonna rap some more, and that's for sure. So sit back, cause I ain't gonna slack. I'm not gonna stop until the song is over.
I think it went good. I think the flow of it kind of showed them the difference between the two and then how you could bring everything back together as one. Well, I started simplistic and I wanted, as far as highlighting, I mean, they should know how to highlight. However, that produced a challenge because one class, I let them highlight tremendously, and then we went back and actually highlighted what needed to be highlighted so they could see that everything wasn't there. Everything there is not definitely a highlight. But I wanted to make sure that I touched all modalities. They need to see that math is not just numbers, that it does incorporate English. They do need to be able to explain themselves in a complete thought. So starting with the highlighting and then moving to the T-chart is kind of more simplistic. The Frayer model definitely brings in more interpretation. And then the concept map kind of brings it all together. So they have to interpret more there as well. It's not just all black and white. And then lastly, I wanted them to use their creativity. I wanted them to have some input in what they did. So we got the posters and the comics and I think it had a lot of cheers, a few dances, that kind of thing. They're definitely beneficial. I was very hesitant at the beginning, and not because I didn't want to, just wanted to make sure that I was doing it correctly. But it helps the kids. It helps them see that literacy is across the board, not just in one particular subject area. I enjoy using them. The kids enjoy doing them. It allows creativity from the kids. I mean, the concept map, as crazy as it seems, they can use different colors to create patterns on their concept map, and it still becomes theirs. They have that ownership over it because they've designed whatever colors they wanted to use. So definitely they are beneficial. They help the kids out.